Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. In a week where we've had some Rangers wins, some new appointments, I've somehow been appointed to the pod host for this evening. So, in the words of Alistair Pearson, strap yourselves in. I'm your host, Ross McLean, and I'm joined this evening, first of all, by the podfab himself, Scott Carney. How are you doing, mate?
Yes, I'm good, mate. Yes, it is your time to take the whole seat, mate. You're fully earning your Club at 22 stripes tonight, mate. I'm telling you, because you're not even getting the Manscaped audio thing that I done. You need to read it for yourself. I'm sure you'll be fine, chat. Be nice to Ross, but I've full confidence that you'll absolutely smash it, mate. And put it this way, mate. You started by saying Club at 22, which is a great start. When Alistair Pearson first done it, he said heart and hand. So that tells you've already got marks ahead of Alistair. But no, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody in the chat, and let's do it, mate. Let's do it.
We've all got to do it one day. We've all got to do it, and today is the initiation song we have been waiting for. And we have also got Nicky. Nicky, how are you doing, mate? Are you feeling, after obviously on the pod last night, after a rather emphatic result, how are you feeling today?
I'm not too bad, mate. Feeling good. It's big celebrations for both of us, mate. You are obviously earning your stripes, hosting the pod. I've done another 3-pod week, so I'm earning my stripes again. I know Ryan Haymarsh will be delighted to see me again if he's tuned in. But no, I'm glad to be on, mate. Again, like last night with Scott and I, it'll be good just to chat about a good result last night. But then we'll get the dread of looking ahead to Sunday and what events that will bring. So yeah, looking forward to getting stuck in.
I'm sure your 3-week pod badge will be in the post, mate. I'm sure Carney's got that on your way to you. But no, I think
that's him. I think that's him. He must be on multiple 3 times a week pod now. So yeah,
I'm going to need to buy a bigger holder. I'm going to need to buy a bigger holder for all these badges, a bigger scarf or something. Aye.
Well, I'm going to need to buy more podcasters so I can get a night off.
Tell you what, if Rangers could have a trophy cabinet the size of Nicky's podcast badges, would be living in dreamland. But
we'd be laughing.
Anyways, we would, mate. We would. But anyways, I think there's kind of no other place to get strapped into than a rather, again, emphatic performance last night from Rangers. I think last night, gents, I saw something I didn't think I'd see. And no, I'm not talking about a first chest here. I'm talking about a positive Rangers performance. Rangers coming away 4-1 victors against the French side Nice in the Europa League. And what you could say was a Nice result. Okay, I'll just leave that there.
Nice result.
So, gents, we're just going to jump straight into it. Scott, what's your kind of, obviously you and Nicky were on the podcast last night, gave it a listen to today. I thought views were very fair, and it is very much like you say, I don't know how to feel. It's so just mixed Rangers. The university studies will get written in the future. But again, after 24 hours, mate, what's your kind of overarching thoughts after kind of having a wee while to breathe after the game?
Yeah, mate, look, I'm delighted with the win. I'm delighted with the way Rangers managed their business. There's no getting away from the fact that, and I always feel like, as Rangers fans, we tend to do this. We tend to say the other team might not be very good, but Nice weren't. They were kind of all over the place. They'd kind of lost their composure, lost their heads, lost their structure. They really had lost it, but Rangers took full advantage of it. And honestly, Rangers could have scored 7 or 8, and they were good for it. They really were good for it. It's the common theme that we are seeing just now is the only time we seem to put in a performance. Yes, okay, we weren't particularly good against Lyon, but apart from that, we've been decent pretty much through this entire European campaign. To be sitting on 10 points before you're getting into the double header of Manchester United and Tottenham is not a bad place to be at all. It leaves us in a position where if we lose the games, then we're still in a very good position in order to get through it, and a playoff place at the absolute worst than that. And also, just if there was pressure on the team, and which there has to be, I know that's why I don't really conform to the there's less pressure in Europe. We all know what's happening domestically, and the team know that they're going to need to put a performance in. But last night was quite a what's the word I'm looking for? Quite an all-together performance. That they seemed like the team were kind of moving in unison at times as well. And I've only had a chance to quickly watch the highlights back today, but you could just see wee patterns of play and things that we've maybe not been seen before. And there's a number of contributing factors to it. And I think that, as I say, the European style football seems to help for whatever reason it may be. But I think the overriding feeling of it is, yes, it's brilliant, yes, it's great, and I'm delighted about it, and of course I am, because it's always good to see Rangers do good in Europe. But we have to stop letting the European football be the only good performances that we put in. We have to start translating whatever we are doing in Europe, whatever is happening in Europe, with some of the things that we're doing, that has to get took into domestic football. It has to. There's just no other way about it. Because if not, then we're just kind of going round in a very, very weird circle. But as I said, mate, this team are, as I said last night, the post-match Nicky and I done, we're a team that is as mad as a bath full of spanners, mate, and I stand by that. I really do, because we're just absolutely all over the place. It's impossible to predict what kind of Rangers that you are going to get. But look, mate, 24 hours, near enough 24 hours on from it, I'm delighted with it. I'm delighted with that win. I will take all day long a 4-1 win in France, mate. I will take it absolutely every day of the week. So yeah, chuffed with it, mate.
Yeah, no, likewise. I think, again, the phrase in isolation, you need to take these games in isolation, because there's just something different about Rangers on a Thursday night. Obviously, we had the post-match last night, so I won't, I guess, kind of go into each and every detail, but kind of go over the highlights from last night's game. I guess, first kind of main talking point was it's just the squad selection. That's 2 games in a row that Tav's been put on the bench, and obviously had Igmane up front, which kind of raised a few eyebrows, but ended up being the correct result from Phil, so plenty of that more, please. We had a very early bit of controversy in the game, lads, and again, I don't want to moan this evening. No, we're here after a good performance. We need to have a speak about this quick VAR from last night on the 6th minute. Looking back at it, I don't know what you lads think. I don't know if the ref had a penalty for Nice in the first half on his bet builder, but there's 3 stoppages of play. That's, first of all, it's the shooter where he kind of deflects off his, I guess, kind of middle. Then there's the Barron tackle, which again looks like a fair tackle. Then the Sterling one, which I actually saw on social media. If you look at Sterling's Twitter, he had a go at the ref, which Sterling loved to see it. Absolutely superb. So Nicky, just again, any more further points on that last night? It's just, again, it didn't make any. You weren't. It wouldn't be speaking about in the worst result, because nothing came from it. But again, it's just, I don't know. What's your thoughts on it, mate? What's your thoughts?
It was just a bizarre few minutes, to be honest, mate. I'd said on the post match that I done with Scott last night, I'd actually nipped out to grab my dinner for the kitchen, so I actually missed the live event, and I just kind of come back to a whole load of controversy, and I caught one of the commentators. I don't know if it was Ali or who was it, Rory Hamilton that was on with him. Is that the guy's name? Whoever it was had mentioned something about a Suter handball, and again, I said it on the post match last night. I thought, Jesus Christ, John Suter again, and this is a problem I have, and maybe some people might say I might be quite critical of John Suter. I think John Suter's a decent defender. We spoke about last Monday, Scott, you and I and Ali, about the core. I think Curry had asked a question about the core, and I think we all agreed John Suter is decent, but he would be decent as a squad player, and that's probably the thing with John Suter. And again, people might say I'm being a bit harsh, but he tends to make costly mistakes. Defenders will make mistakes. He seems to be getting a wee bit of a habit of the mistakes he makes cost us goals. If you think about some Kilmarnock at the start of last year, some of the Kyogo ones against Celtic, and as soon as I heard that, I thought, oh, here we go. But it was then strange, and I'd said this to Scott last night. My biggest moan about VAR is, why do they not start showing you the replay immediately, right? Why are we all sat in limbo for like 2-3 minutes going, John Suter might have handballed it, the referee's playing about with his earpiece, nobody knows what's going on, particularly at home. But then it was bizarre, because we then go on to the actual replay. John Suter's not even in the shot, right? They're obviously looking at the Sterling one. No way in a million years is that a handball, by the way, because again, as Scott and I discussed last night, he turned round, his hands are tucked by his side, they're not out from his body, do you know what I mean? They're not making himself bigger. So under the kind of laws, which I believe are kind of behind the handball rule, he didn't tick any of them. But then came the most bizarre moment of them all, which was the ref then almost pointed to, actually, I want to continue, I want to keep looking. And I began to think to myself, we're just going to go through a process here where he is going to look at absolutely every collision until he finds a reason. To your point, Ross, maybe he had a penalty on his first half coupon. But fortunately, nothing came of it. Even the 3 instance, even when you see the John Souttar one back, the Dujon Sterling one, the Connor Barron one, none of them are fouls, mate. So it was just a bizarre 3 minutes and almost just put us on edge when we didn't really have to.
Yeah, no, spot on. It's one that we can thankfully park to one side, but until it happens at the weekend, we need to talk about it again. We shall leave it there. Quickly, thank you to Paul for becoming the channel member. That is greatly appreciated. We do promise it is Northern Ireland green. It is. We need to get that sorted, Carney, don't
I
we, mate?
know. I don't know how to do it. I've emailed YouTube and everything to try. I just don't know. I don't think there is a way to change it. Unfortunately, if somebody in the comments knows how I stopped that being green, then please, it is Northern Ireland green, no, but please let me know, and I will definitely get it changed. Can I just as well, like, first tick for Ross there, Nicky? Put the new member up on the screen. Didn't have to remind them. Straight away done it. I mean, this guy's a pro, mate. I'm going to be out a job soon. By the way, I'm telling you.
Learn from the best, gents. Learn from the best. But I kind of going into the next kind of big talking point of the game comes in for me the 35th minute, the first goal of the game. Václav Cerny, boys, he's getting on the score sheet again. That's his 8th goal of the season. Sterling kind of ball cross into the box. Igmane, as you said, Morelos-esque, kind of making a nuisance around defenders. Does outstandingly well to just lay the ball off to Cerny. Maybe a bit of a tame shot from Cerny, but end of the day, ends up the back of the net and we are 1-0 up. Carney, that's again, as I say, that's 8 goals for Cerny this season. We've been crying out for wingers who just contribute with goals, and I mean he's contributing more than our strikers at the moment, apart from one man we'll come on to. But Cerny, mate, that's for a player who, don't get me wrong, I know he's on loan, and a lot of folk will say, "Aye, just at the end of the season you'll be." It's a bit of a dilemma, but for the time being, mate, he can't really put a foot wrong.
No, I completely agree. I think he's answered a lot of critics, mate, because I was one of them, but I was beginning to doubt his real contribution that he was having towards the team. I even had a conversation last night with Dixie as well, and he was saying the same thing, where he was just like, he's proved me wrong. And my biggest fear, and it's probably the biggest compliment that you can have to him just now, is a lot of the time when things aren't going well, and domestically we have been doing it, is get the ball to Cerny and hopefully he does something. And I don't want him to become that guy. I don't think it's fair for him to carry the weight of the team, considering he is only here on loan. But look, he's answered all his critics. I think he does more often than not look the most dangerous player on the pitch in attacking sense for Rangers, of course, until the spectacular performance, European debut for Rangers for Igmane, and obviously he seems to have threw the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit in terms of what we're going to do going forward, which I'm sure we'll come to. But look, Cerny, he deserves all the credit. I like his attitude. I like the way he talks in the press. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. I think he's under no illusions about what he's doing and what he's trying to do. I think realistically, he'll probably, if he continues in this form, I would imagine he'll go back to his parent club and he'll be sold on elsewhere for probably more money than we'll be willing to pay for him. But for right now, and you've got to remember as well, when we first seen Sima when he came to Rangers, we all thought, he doesn't look very good. And again, he proved us all wrong. So maybe it is just a case of one of the things Clement says, that it took a little bit of time for him just to find his feet. But I think he's made that right-hand side his own now. I think every time we name a starting 11, even though we'll never get it right, I think Cerny's always one that we will get right just now, because he is the guy that's in form. And if you don't shoot, you don't score, mate, and that's exactly what he done last night. He'll take every bit of fortune with that. I don't care the ball ended up in the back of the net. Yeah, and I say, mate, it's credit to him for the way he's handled the kind of criticism that was surrounding him. I think he learned from his mistakes of doing his daft claps to the crowd, or the reactions that he's done towards the crowd. You won't win that battle, and I think he realised that quite quickly that he wouldn't. So look, full credit to the guy. Right now he's one of the first names on the team sheet, because he is the guy that's kind of in form, looks the most dangerous of the, as I said, of our attacking line. So no, I'm chuffed to see the kind of about turning his form, and long may it continue now.
Yeah, indeed, mate, you're right. It only took 3 minutes later for Rangers to get a second in the night. Mohamed Diomande, an outstanding goal from him, a goal that I've been waiting to see for a while. Obviously, he came in, I think he scored, I think it was 2 games in the bounds, he scored home and away, and then ever since, I think he had a goal earlier this season, but this is the best of the lot. Again, it's Johnstone again with the ball through, and Diomande just. It's so easy. The defender's right there. He could so easily just shrug it off and go at hard lines. The defender maybe gives up on it, but Diomande judges the flight of the ball perfectly, chips it over the keeper. That's honestly, I was off my seat sort of stuff. It's the first time in a while I've been off my seat actually for Rangers, and I'm just happy it was Diomande who could do it for me because he's been through a bit of a tough spell at the moment. But Nicky, that if that's a quality Diomande can show, then please can we see that more often because he's a player who has came in for a decent bit of money. You're hoping to get some returns. Obviously, he's not maybe gonna get all the goals this season, but for the moments that he can, if he can show that quality, then what a player we've got on our hands.
Rangers get me off my seat quite a lot. Normally it's to get up and find the remote and change the channel of late, but I would agree with you. Last night it was Diomande's good in Europe. I don't know what it is. He's good in Europe. I don't know if it's the extra space. He's not playing against that low block. I don't know if he utilises him slightly differently, but he tends to perform quite well in Europe. And I still claim that he is not a traditional number 10. I still think he is that sort of attacking eight. Because one of the things that Diomande does really well is he runs beyond and he stretches teams. And I get that can be a little more difficult to stretch a team when they've got 10 of their own players stood in their own half, right? It can be quite difficult, but it was a really aggressive move from Diomande to get in behind that defender. I would agree with you, Ross. I think the finish is sublime. Like whether he meant it or not, I don't know, right? Whether he's just trying to get a foot on it and flick it into the box in the hope that maybe Igmane or somebody is there. If he meant to almost do that kind of delicate lob of the goalkeeper into the far post, then fair play, by the way, because that is a sublime piece of skill to take it out the air. But I think he's been good. I think, or he was good last night. Sorry, I think he's got a lot of criticism lately. I don't think that's unjustified, by the way. I think some of his performances have been fairly poor, particularly domestically. One of the things that you hear a lot about Scottish football is how quick it is and how aggressive it is, and you see that with a lot of the English players that kind of come up north of the border. They maybe don't anticipate how quick the game is and how little time you get on the ball, and I do think there maybe has been a wee bit of an adjustment period, and we spoke a bit about it again kind of last week about what is happening with Diomande, because you're right, he kind of came in on fire. I can't remember the goal, but was it St Johnstone away or Motherwell away or somebody scored that belter, a strike from outside the box. He then had another brilliant goal against Hearts. He finished the season fairly strongly. But this season he's been very, very hot or cold, but we do seem to see the best of him in these kind of European games. Domestically, moving forward, I'm not sure he's that 10. Particularly against a kind of low block. I'm not sure he's got that kind of intricacy to take the ball under pressure, to maybe take the ball with your back to goal, to find that kind of killer pass. I do think he is better, slightly deeper and kind of running at the goal. So I would maybe like to see a kind of combination of something like a Raskin, Diomande, Barami as the kind of midfield three. I don't see why. I don't think there's a need to play kind of Barron and Raskin, to be honest, and I think Raskin's got the jersey at the minute because I don't know if we'll come on and talk about him, but I thought Raskin was superb again last night. So I would like to see maybe a kind of combination of that if we can find a solution on the left-hand side that allows Barami to come in the park a wee bit, play him almost as the 10, play Diomande as the kind of 8, play Raskin as the 6 as he has done. And maybe we might see a wee bit more out of Diomande in these kind of domestic games. But no, in terms of last night, I thought he was great. I thought he was busy. He got about the park. He broke things up. I thought he released the ball. I thought his passing and stuff was good last night. So a really positive performance, and hopefully one he can carry on into the weekend as well.
I hope so, mate. I think that I wanted to worry about the number 10 when Kieran Dowell comes on Sunday, so Diomande will get the day off. Scott, it took just a few minutes again for Rangers to get back on the score sheet with Igmane with his first of the evening. The man of the moment just now. It's a poor bash from the goalkeeper, and Igmane latches on to it. And then I don't know. They've been saying that Dessers has been quite influential, teaching players in the dressing room. I don't know if Igmane's just been. He was waiting to put the fake shot from Dessers there, but my heart was in my mouth But eventually he slots it away, cool as you like, and Rangers are 3-0 up away at Nice.
Dreamland stuff, mate. Absolute dreamland. Yeah, I agree. I think he took too much out of the Dessers textbook there about how long he took to put the ball in the net. Because as soon as you rounded the keeper, I think everybody went shoot, just put it in the net. But he took his time. But look, he composed himself and he got in and he made it 3-0. But it's dreamland stuff. It really is. I say the Nice's heads had kind of went and. Rangers just took full advantage of it. I thought I really did, and Nicky's spot on what he said. I thought performances from like Barron, particularly Raskin, I thought he was dominating the midfield. I really did. I thought he was leading their midfielders for a walk whenever he felt like it. I thought he was very good, which is all good and all added pressures onto the defence. But no, look, I'm chuffed that. Igmane got that goal and saying I'm chuffed that we were 3-0 up at half time, and I'm kind of, as I say, I'm sitting watching it, shaking my head, being happy and shaking my head at the same time, because I'm going, what are we? What is this team that I'm watching? Because look, you can only play the team that's in front of you. And yeah, we'll come on and we'll speak about Sunday and whatever else. But when nights like that happen, especially the way this season has went, you've got to enjoy it. And I thoroughly enjoyed being 3-0 up at half time, mate.
We're football fans. As soon as our team's winning, which unfortunately doesn't happen often at the moment, we've got to take it as it comes. But we go into half time 3-0, and as you say, dreamland stuff. It was giving me. I know it's a bit of a tricky comparison, but it was giving me Dortmund vibes going into a European away game, and you're just going in thinking, I don't know how we got here, but we've got there, and it's all credit to Rangers. And we come out, Nicky, in the second half, and again, it didn't take long for Igmane to get on the score sheet again. A poor bit of defending from the defender, let's not kid ourselves on, but Igmane, the nutmeg to then just take the ball, slot it home, that is all you can ask for as a striker. Obviously, Igmane's came in, a young lad who's been given quite a bit of high praise from Clement, and we're starting to understand where he's coming from. Obviously, Clement said that if we tried to get Igmane a wee bit later in the line, we probably couldn't get him. If that's the quality he's shown, I'm starting to understand why he's saying that. So that fourth goal, mate, talk me through it.
It was the best of the four by a distance, in my opinion. Again, you're right, mate. When they lost their captain in that first half, they lost all sense of composure. It did become a very scrappy game, particularly from their back four or back five, even if you include their keeper in it. Some of the passing for that guy is a midfielder, right, who I think took over the armband and stepped back into centre half. You would expect him to be able to pass a ball, but some of his passing was absolutely ludicrous, right? You think about the kind of pass back for Igmane's first goal. This one, I don't even know what he's doing. He looks as if he's trying to thread it between two or three Rangers players. He passes it straight to Igmane. But
if anybody had a coupon on last night, it was that defender. That's all I'm saying.
I know. I did think, there's clearly a wee bit of match fixing or something going on here. But I said it last night, and I'm like, listeners will be like, don't cat that. This is R9-esque. It is honestly R9-esque. This is the sort of stuff we used to see. Probably before your day, actually, Ross. I don't know if you can remember R9.
Ross will not remember Ronaldo. The original Ronaldo.
This guy was a Brazilian striker. He was unbelievable. You should YouTube him, by the way. But the nutmeg is sensational. The power and the pace to kind of shrug him off, get by him, one touch, and then the finish was fantastic as well, because he had options, right? I think Diomande had broke into the box. I think Cerny was kicking about towards the back post as well. He could have quite easily rolled either of those in, notched his second assist of the night, and they would have an open goal. But it's a sensational strike again. And yes, we clearly played to Igmane's strengths last night. It was one of those games where everything he touched was great. Scott and I again spoke a bit about what he brings to this team. He's just a totally different dynamic from Dessers. I just don't think Dessers is built to do this sort of role. See, this role that we've got so used to watching Rangers in European games. Morelos done it perfectly for us for years. Igmane, as I said last night, has a long way to go to get to kind of prime Morelos and what we were getting off him. But that ability to occupy defenders, having the strength to go and win a battle against a centre-half. When was the last time Dessers won a battle against a centre-half? I can't remember, honestly. And I'm talking about guys who are centre-halves for Dundee and St Johnstone, right? I'm not talking about Sergio Ramos and Maldini here, right? I'm talking about guys who are hammer throwers in the SPFL, and Dessers isn't getting the better of them in one-on-one battles. So Igmane showed that last night. His control, whether it's his chest, whether it's his head, whether it's his taking a ball out of the air, was top notch last night. Been able to bring others into play. I don't think he put a foot wrong. I think other than the kind of chance we messed up at the start, Ross, where he had maybe a wee bit more confidence, he just smashes that and he probably scores. And then I think there was one where we were breaking and he had quite a lazy pass. I think he passed it right at the centre half. But other than that, I honestly don't think the boy put a foot wrong, mate. And he's got to start at the weekend. He's got to start at the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. The plaudits deservedly go to him. I've just noticed the time now, lads, and I think, Scott, I can see you looking in your eye, mate. You know exactly what time it is. So, ladies and gentlemen,
brace yourself, everybody.
Brace yourself, strap yourselves in, as we say. So, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leaders in men's lifestyle and grooming. Introducing Manscaped newest innovation, the Chairman Pro, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, the Chairman Pro electric foil shaver is your go-to for precision and style every time. Head off to manscaped.com and use the code CLUB@22 to join the 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. You have the skin-safe 4-blade foil for that close, smooth shave when you're looking to go completely clean, just like the top of Vasiliev Cerny's head. If you like for a clean shave is not your style, just switch to the skin-safe stubble trimmer to keep your stubble looking sharp and polished. The Chairman Pro comes with unique Flex Adjust technology, helping you maintain great contact with your skin at every angle. Here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. The Chairman Pro is powerful enough to tackle up to 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code CLUB@22 at manscaped.com. And don't just take our word for it, the Rangers players love to use Manscaped as well. Because why else do you think John Super's nickname is Soapy? From your head to your buttland, get the best products on the market at manscaped.com and get 20% off with free shipping when you use CLUB@22 at checkout. That is 20% off plus free shipping with the code CLUB@22 at manscaped.com. Thank you to Manscaped as always for the continued support. Lads, that is an absolute workout, by the way. That's fair play to use every week.
You can't ask for much more than that, Nicky, can you? Let's be honest, mate. That's good.
Throwing in a few wee funny parts as well. That was absolutely 10 out of 10, mate. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. You're getting 10 out of 10 in the chat, mate, like a pro, Ross, yeah. What do you think, chat? Do you think Ross has passed his probation period now? He should now be a fully fledged member of the podcast? No, fantastic.
I think he's earned the right to do this every week now.
Yeah, probably, mate. Yeah, probably. It saves me having to do it, to be honest.
Exactly.
You're too kind, James. That's what I'm here for. You know what? It was not bad at all. It was. I shall get it memorised for next week. I won't need the wee sheet of paper that's beside me. But thank you to Manscaped as always for their support. And again, if it's come to Christmas, use CLUB@22 and get 20% off. So happy days. So lads, back to the football. Just spoke about the Igmane goal. Obviously, there was a bit of negativity it conceded, but it was a cracking free kick. You never know if there was a rule that you could only score from open play. There might have been, a consolation, but wouldn't matter from us anyways because we can't score from set pieces. But I think I thought we'd kind of maybe touch on something that has been a kind of recurring conversation this evening, gents. This number 9 striker position for Rangers, it's very much the talking point of the moment. Carnett, I'll come to you first, mate. One thing that going into this season, I was concerned that we didn't really replace for me, the Antonio Cholaks, the Roofs, even the Jermaine Defoe's, just a striker who put the ball in front of him, puts it in the back of the net. I was a massive fan for Cholak for that, and I still I don't know if we've still got that guy yet. But after last night, the contributions from Igmane, who really for me, he scored 2 out of the 3 chances he had. Obviously that chance in the first half where there was a 3-on-1 where probably Cerny was your man. But for me, there's two shots. You need to put the ball in the back of the net, and he's done it both times. Where do you see our number 9 going forward, mate? Obviously, we've got this big game coming up at the end of the month, next month even. Who's your number 9 just now? Obviously, I think Nicky said that Igmane's to start at the weekend. Do you have that kind of notion that now is the time to bring Igmane in?
I think so, mate. Yeah, I really do think so. I think obviously Dessler's absolute howler that he had when he came on, it just kind of reconfirms it for me. And it's not just day things. It's not just the fact that Dessler's will miss these chances, but it is also because Dessers will miss these chances at the same time. It's hard to. Dessers is not contributing what he has been when he had his purplish patch with us, and we're all crying out for energy. We're all crying out for somebody to be able to link up play up front, and I don't think the style that we do play it kind of lends itself to Desser's attributes, whereas Igmane seems much more willing to run channels. He's much better at controlling the ball. It sticks to him. He can link up play. Yeah, he's still rough, and Nicky made the points of even right at the start of the game, he made a break down the side. It didn't really go the way that it should. And then when he was after they scored the second goal, I think he was on a bit of a high. He was been a wee bit lazy with passes and things like that, when he should just be making sure of the pass. But even though he is raw, I do think that we have to give him the chance, because the only way that he's going to improve and learn is by playing games. I don't think he's going to learn it in training now. He's at the point where he has to get a run of games. I hope Clement sticks with it, I really do, because I'm not saying that he plays every single game. I think there'll still be a part to play for the likes of Danilo, for the likes of Dessers. I still think they'll be involved one way or another. But Igmane's kind of earned his right now, I think, after last night's performance, to say, right, Gaffer, Dessers hasn't scored in I don't know how long, and I put in 2 last night away in France. I think he's quite within his right to presume that he's going to get a start. And the whole of the Rangers support shouted no at the same time when he rolled his ankle and went down, because every one of us went, oh no, please no, let's not let this happen now. Which speaks volumes for the impact that he made. So for me, I think you have to continue with him. I think Clement will be doing himself no favours at all if we see the team line up on Sunday and it's number 9 Dessers up front. I don't think he'll be winning any of his winning anybody's support for that decision. So Igmane was presented with the opportunity. He made an impression. Let him continue on it. He seems like he's ready to go. He seems as if he's right up for it, and I would be starting him in games. I've got no doubt about
that. Aye, no, I completely agree. I think for me, I don't need to worry about Dessers starting the weekend, because after last night's miss, it wouldn't surprise me if he's missed the playing home. Honestly, that I didn't touch on that last chance there, but that's the sort of thing that wins and loses you games. I know the game's dead and buried, put away, but it's chance like that. Even if you go back to the Malmo game, for example, how many chances in that first half were we saying, we could be coming, that could come back to haunt us? Chances like that have came back to haunt us in the past with Dessers, and I think if we want to, really progress forward as a team, Igmane's a man forward for the time being. But Nicky, I think coming up to this kind of January period, obviously the kind of one position we've been speaking about bringing in is that striker. If I was to, just for a wee bit of fun, next season, if you imagine February, May time, do you see Igmane as the striker for Rangers? Do you think we'll bring in somebody who, I guess, takes his place? Obviously, you can't exactly predict the future, but where do you see us going into next year, our striker being, or do you see even a Danilo come back and see Ali's man come in? What's your thoughts, mate, with this kind of next part of the season and the striker position going forward? I think you're on mute, mate.
Nicky, you're on mute.
Apologies. It's a tough one, mate. I think, listen, I'll touch on, I agree with Scott, by the way. I think Igmane is earned the right to start on Sunday. One of the things I spoke about last night, or ranted about last night, and I am very, very passionate about it, is we as a team lack a strategy to break down low blocks. We do. I almost think this team is built in a way that they go out to try and score early. And it's maybe why we see that wee 10-minute spell at the start of games where we maybe look quite aggressive and actually we look we're on it. See if we don't score a goal. I think it's ingrained in a lot of these players to just shit the bed. And I think Gerrard probably instilled a bit of calmness about that, because what we've seen under Gerrard for those kind of last 18, 24 months was we done the same thing, right? That relentless press. We didn't shit the bed basically when things didn't go our way. Yes, we would aggressively attack teams, and in a lot of these games we'd score goals, we'd go and get the second goal, and that's it done, particularly in the 55 season. But what we tend to see, and even when Gerrard first came in, post Gerrard as well, is if we don't score early, we revert to this old just get Borna Barisic and James Tavernier to fire hundreds of balls into the box, and hopefully Morelos or somebody can score. And I spoke about this last night. If we are going to move to Igmane, we cannot revert to that strategy. We cannot have Yefty and Sterling or Tav or whoever plays just firing aimless balls into the box, particularly against St Johnstone, right? St Johnstone will probably play a 5 at the back, right? They will have 3 centre-halves who are all 6'2", 6'3". If we revert back to that, Igmane will get no benefit of that, right? He will not do anything in the air. Yes, I think he looks as if he's all right at bringing balls down, etc. But if it's just in a penalty box to win headers, he will not win headers against 3 centre halves. And very, very quickly, we will go around to start cussing and swearing and getting peed off, going, why is Igmane in here? He's not doing anything. And before you know it, we'll be crying for Danilo or hellbent Dessers to come on and play. But if I move ahead to the summer, Igmane's still got a long way to go at the minute, I think, to be declared as our main number 9, right? I always think about a main number 9 for Rangers needs to be scoring 25 goals a season, at least. If not more. I mean, Dessers get 22 last year, and I'm still not convinced he was anywhere near good enough, right? So there's almost a requirement to score the 25 goals. There's also a requirement that they need to be in big games as well. And I think you need to be contributing to other aspects of the game, the way Morelos and other strikers have done. We've made a bit of a mess with Dessers, to be honest. I know there was a lot of rumours going about in the summer about Dessers, and there was concrete offers. See if we'd any backbone about us, right? Phil, come on, Niles Coppin, whoever's duty is, should have marched Cyril Dessers to that front door and said, see you later, mate. Pick what team you're going to, because you're not staying here next year. You're simply not good enough. And the fact we've allowed him to go, do you know what? I don't fancy Athens or Fiorentina or whatever it was the offers were. I'm making up names here. Has come back and bit us in the balls, right? Because we're now relying on this guy who's not good enough. So in the summer, personally, Igmane will be around. I think he's young. He's got a high ceiling. You want to develop him. I think he'll be around. I think Danilo will naturally be around as well, mainly because we had a big outlay on him. He's had a pretty horrendous time with injuries that I don't envisage there's going to be many suitors in the summer who would look to take Danilo off your hands. Dessers is the only one, and this might sound harsh, right? We should be marching that guy at the front door with his agent and go and get him a move, because we need the 2 million, the 3 million, the 4 million, whatever we can generate for him to buy a new striker. In the summer, in an ideal world, I think you move Dessers out. I think you buy another striker who is your main centre forward. I still think you need a guy who you can consistently rely on to score 25 or 30 goals. And you have Igmane there who's an understudy. He's only 22, right? He doesn't need to play 60 games a year. He can come in and out of games. He can come off the bench. He can play European games. He can play games at Ibrox against your Dundees and your St Johnstones and all them without any disrespect, and he'll continue to develop. Whether we'll do that, I'm not sure, but I think we need to find a bit of a backbone with guys like Dessers, because there comes a time when sentiment goes out the window, and if we think about the club and where we want to get to, which is challenging for a league title, you need to move guys like that on, irrelevant of what they want to do.
No, I agree. I know it will make a certain member of the podcast quite unhappy. We've got plenty of D9 fans here. But yeah, it's about, again, it's just putting the club first and try to, I guess, as you say, mate, challenging for league titles. That's what it matters most. Carney, do you have any other views on that there? Kind of going into this January window, obviously, it's something we'll come and talk about later to the time. Also, it's a window where you get rarely any transfers in, unless Aaron Ramsey wants another punt. I'm sure he'll come in quite happily. But how do you see us lining up next season, mate? Kind of the early stages of the year. Do you see potentially Igmane being that guy? Does Dessers turn it around? What's your thoughts? It's again, it's tricky to predict the future, but what's your thoughts?
I don't think Dessers will turn it around, mate, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think Dessers is what Dessers is, and that's it. I don't think the guy's got any real hope of developing new attributes in his game at the stage of the career that he's in. It's a signing that has worked in very brief moments for Rangers, but really the rest of it's just been a bit frustrating. I think once it was clear that we were going to have to rely on him, I think it bought him a bit of time. Also coincided with him scoring a few goals, so again, he kind of bought himself his own time as well, but he's resorting back now to what we all know that he is. He's just not a very good football player. He isn't. I don't think he's anywhere near the calibre of player that we need to be at Rangers, especially with the kind of style that Clement wants to play. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit him. It doesn't suit him. So, but in terms of January, look, there's so many unknowns right now around our club, and there's a lot more bumps in the road to come yet. I'm not sitting here pretending that everything's perfect after the fact that we've won the European game last night. I'm not naive enough to think that. I don't think we're anywhere near out the woods, and a few people in the comments were saying last night, "Oh, is that you? Is that you backing Clement?" And no, I'm not backing Clement. Clement has got a long way to go to convince me he's the long-term manager of Rangers. He's nowhere near it yet. But you have to enjoy, as I said earlier, you've got to enjoy moments like last night when they come, because it's a cracking win in Europe. Do you know what I mean? So you do have to enjoy that. I think January's really all going to depend what this CEO decides to do. I am beginning to get a bit of the feeling that I don't think Clement will be going anywhere. I've got a feeling that the CEO might come in, might address the remainder of this season, have a bit of time to look at things proper, get into the nitty-gritty of the club, find out what needs done, what needs improved, etc. And then maybe towards the end of the season, depending on how the rest of the season goes, which I'm not particularly hopeful about, not going to lie. Domestically anyway, I'm not particularly hopeful about. I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think Clement won't go before the cup final. That's an almost definite. And obviously the CEO starts on the 16th. At that point, as I say, we're still going to be sitting on 10 points in Europe if we get beat off of Man United and Spurs. Do they both happen? If they both happen before...
I think both... Man United game's early December, and then Spurs is the Thursday before 12, the cup final.
I think, the 12th. Yeah. So that, like, they both games are going to be out the road by then. So we'll still be sitting on 10. So Europe's still going to look pretty good. But it's the domestic bit that I don't know where we're going to be at. So January all depends on where we are as a football club. I can't see them if we... For example, if we bring a replacement in immediately, if you like, if he does go, then do we have to give him some form of backing in the window? He's going to have to bring a few players in. I think it's critical, as Nicky said, we have to get rid of some of these players that are there now and that they're not performing. We should be getting money, no matter what it may be. If we're taking a loss, we're taking a loss, but we should be recouping some of the money back to reinvest it in areas that we need. But that all depends, as I say, who the manager's going to be. It's an unknown just now, a real unknown, and we'll have to wait and see probably where we are after the dust settles, after a couple of weeks of this CEO being in the job, before we can make a true kind of guesstimate, I suppose, about what will happen in January. But we'll just have to wait and see, mate.
I think the one thing I'll say is I can't see Cyril Dessers going anywhere in January. January's notoriously a tricky market. I think if we're seriously going to get rid of Cyril Dessers, it'll be next summer, mate. So, as Ali would say, strap yourselves in, because I think we've got at least another 6 or 7 months, this guy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're right about kind of January's almost your perfect opportunity for maybe like a Hadji maybe to go out. It's not maybe Dessers. He'll maybe even quite happily just sit on the bench knowing that in the summer he can get his move. But yeah, like there's a lot of football to be played before then, and one game before that is this weekend. So Rangers kick off the festive period 1st of December with a trip up to McDermott Park for a 12 o'clock kick off on Sunday against St Johnstone. They've played them twice already this season. First back in August in a 2-0 League Cup win, and also in October in a 2-0 win again at Ibrox, and ironically at the Hadji red card game. Sorry. So St Johnstone sitting ninth in the table, coming off the back of a pretty decent 1-0 win at Rugby Park. Carney, I'll come to you first, mate. What do you expect? Kind of first seems like the first away game in a while, and well, domestically at least. How do you feel going into the game? Do you think we'll see the bounce that we're looking for? Do you think we'll revert to type? What's your thoughts going into Sunday's game?
History tells us that we'll revert to type, mate. I'm not going to lie. It's impossible for me to sit here and try and make an accurate preview of what Rangers I am going to see on Sunday because I've got no idea. Honestly, I've not got a clue. After I kind of thought in the back of my mind we might be okay against Nice, we might get a draw, we might perform decent, but to win at 4-1, you're kind of like, right. Where did it come from and where does it leave us? As I mentioned earlier, the biggest thing that Clement has to do, and the players have to do it as well. And I'm not. Most of my frustration goes towards Clement, but if you can't up your game and feel a wee bit good about yourself after winning 4-1 away in Nice, then what are you doing as a football player? Because they should be getting a bit of positive from that. They should be able to take elements of that performance and translate it into domestic football. Yes, I know we're going to be playing against a low block. Yes, it's St Johnstone. I've not seen their pitch. It's probably terrible because it's renowned for being quite a poor park, so I don't know what kind of state it's going to be in. And it's at 12 o'clock on a Sunday, so what could possibly go wrong? I just want to see something. I think we have to be able to see something from Rangers, because if there's a slight bit of wind in the sails now because we had a positive result, and the fans we're all kind of desperate to be positive. I think we are, and I think some people maybe think that we enjoy being negative. I really don't. It's hard work. I want to be praising Rangers. I want to be praising about how good we are, how good we played here, how good we played there, etc., etc. So to then go back to revert to type, mate, and it's a slogfest and we drop points and because then we're just back on the merry-go-round of the kind of negative spiel that we've been having. No matter what, Clement has to try and get something going. He has to try and get some element of performance levels upped domestically, and that's what I hope to expect from Sunday. I think we will have to do something different. We'll have to do something completely different, and we'll see how we are when we see the lineup, etc. Because I think that'll kind of give a slight indication about where Clement thinks we're heading. But it's time that he starts to really show us that he believes all the kind of drivel that he likes to come out with in press conferences, etc. It's now time for him to show that, because we are at the end of November now. We're still not seeing a very good Rangers team domestically, and now's the time. He has to, by hook or by crook, find a way to get us playing better football and to get results in the league. So I really hope I see a massive improvement domestically on Sunday. I'm not going to hold my breath, mate. I'm not going to lie. I'm not expecting Rangers to be great. A win would be good. At least a win would be nice to come to get after the performance from last night. But look, mate, you literally could roll a dice, and it's impossible to really get a grasp on what Rangers will see on Sunday.
I 100% agree, mate. It's if you're a neutral fan tuning into tonight's pod, you'd almost be baffled the fact that you've just beat Nice away and yet you're still worrying about St Johnstone. It makes again.
I said to my missus at half time last night while we were watching, she was lying on the couch and I was watching the football, and I said to her, I was like, the Nice manager should probably just go into the dressing room and go, do you know these boys drew with Dundee United at the weekend, lads? Just so you know. And all of them will go, who's Dundee United? And he goes, exactly. Get out there and do something. So, yeah, I wouldn't have been a hard one. But you're right, mate. It's just bipolar Rangers, isn't it?
I know. It's, again, I hope that we see the turn of the coin. It's something that we can't, again, I harp on about it every week. We can't come away from the football feeling as flat as we do. Like, it's, at the end of the day, it's you know, work your weekends around Rangers, you work your weekdays around Rangers. So I just hope that we can get at least something back in return. Nicky, obviously last night the kind of European win maybe papers over the cracks for some folk in some way. I think we're all quite smart enough to know that domestically it's nowhere near it. For me, Sunday, you need to kick on. You need to kick on. I hope it's the last time I'm saying it. You need to eventually get that bounce and hopefully it puts the Johnstone to the sword. So, what is your thoughts going into Sunday, mate? What is your thoughts after a good performance last night? Will we back it up with a good performance at the weekend?
No idea. No idea. I think you're right. I'm sick of saying it as well. I'm sick of saying this team needs a reaction, right? How many bloody reactions can you get through in a 60-game season? It's ridiculous. Every second week, we're like, this team needs a reaction. It's a shambles, right? To be calling that every single second week, these players need to react to another bad performance, bad result, whatever it might be. Don't take it away. I'm as delighted as everybody else about last night's result. And they certainly mugs. They aren't a mugs, right? They're doing well in the French league. They haven't been beat at home. They aren't doing particularly well in Europe, but they're a good team, right? They're a good side. And yeah, maybe there's a combination of they didn't play well. We did play well. We were quite clinical, albeit can you be clinical and unclinical? Because in one side I go, we were quite clinical. We scored 4 goals. But in the other side I go, actually, we could have scored 7 or 8 goals if we were very clinical. But I think it was a really good result. As a football player, you kind of go, right, when's the next game, right? That was a brilliant win. Let's get the next game under our belt and let's do the same thing again. But I'll be honest, I am very, very reserved at the minute on where I am. I'm very much in the camp of Clement has done nothing really to generate the reputation as a manager here. This team have let us down so many times off the back of these big European performances, and we're all sitting rubbing our hands going, right, when's the next game? And it is just absolute powder puff for 90 minutes. But as I say, as a player, I think you should be buzzing to go into the weekend. I think what a lot of people are probably forgetting about as well, and I can't believe I'm saying this, right? Aberdeen played midweek and dropped points. There is a chance for us to claw back more of the gap on Aberdeen. Check notes. I am actually saying Aberdeen and not Celtic. Yes, there is a chance for us to claw back points on Aberdeen. So they should be buzzing to go for this. But like Scott, this will be a tricky game. St John's Park isn't great. They'll play the low block. They'll be tough. They'll be aggressive. They'll play on second balls. They will look for free kicks, set pieces in and around our area to cause us problems. We need to come out the traps 100 mile an hour. We need. That's what we done when we were so successful a few years ago. Come out the traps 100 mile an hour. We have better players than them. Score 2 goals and the game is done. Score 2 goals and the game is finished, right? It will take every bit of energy, enthusiasm out of them, and that is it done. And then you can relax and you can pass the ball and piss about with the ball between your midfielder, your right back, your centre back, your centre mid. You can do that all you want when you're 2-0 up. It doesn't happen when they are camped in their box and it's nothing each. So we need to come out the traps. We need to find a new strategy of breaking down these teams domestically that moves away from just firing balls into boxes. Clement, albeit 3 or 4 months too late, does appear now to be moving away from the guys who are letting them down in the past. James Tavernier is, you could argue, consistently been out the team now for a couple of weeks. Cyril Dessers, big decision last night to take him out. Igmane, in my opinion, merits a start. Even Danilo, I think, is up the pecking order on Dessers at the minute. So there is no reason for these guys to be in the game tomorrow. Because these are the guys that have let us down, right? Tav's mistakes have let us down. Cyril Dessers not being able to put the ball in the back of the net has let us down in these games, mate. So, in short, I don't know what to expect. I'm very reserved at the minute. We could get a 1970s Brazil-esque performance, or we could get East End United, who Scott and I will know for Greenock, right? So it'll be, or we could get anywhere in between. So we'll wait and see. But like Scott, 3 points is an absolute necessity at the minute. We need to be pretty flawless, I think, up to the cup final, particularly domestically. Spurs, listen, we don't know what will happen with Spurs. It'll be a tough game. They're a top side, but domestically we need to be flawless getting into this final against Celtic.
No, 100%, mate. I'll jump back to you quickly. What is your team and score prediction for tomorrow? Sorry, Sunday.
I don't think he'll change. I've written down the same team as last night. I can guarantee you it's not right. He will change something, but in my mind at the minute, I'm going, I don't really see what he changes, right? So, same team, Butland, Sterling, Suter, Proper, Yefty. There's an argument maybe Balogun comes in. That's maybe the one that I'm a wee bit unsure about. He allows you to press a wee bit higher, potentially, because he's got that recovery pace. I think it'll be Raskin. I think it'll be Barron. I think it'll be Diomande. I think Cerny's a given on the right. I think Bayrami will probably play on the left. There's an argument. I don't know where Yilmaz is. I don't know where Cortez is. I don't know where Matondo is. It feels like months ago we were told Matondo and Cortez were only a few weeks away and we've still not seen them. So there is an argument that they could maybe play a part, and I think it will be Igmane up top, to be honest, mate. In terms of scoreline, I'm going to go 2-0 Rangers. And I think first goal will be Cerny.
Cerny will take that. First of all, Justin, it's return of the flag. God bless America. Thank you as always, Justin. That is absolutely superb.
Cheers,
Carney,
Justin, mate. Thank you.
Carney, yourself, mate, what are you thinking for the starting 11? Obviously, that kind of discussion earlier on about Igmane, I think for me, he starts up front for me, but you're starting 11, mate, and your score prediction going into Sunday's game.
I kind of get where Nicky's coming from. I think he'll still change it. I'm a bit torn to think what he'll do, though. To be completely honest, we have seen Yilmaz and Jefty now on the left hand side. I don't know if he's looking at that. If we've not got Cortez fit, we've not got Matondo fit. It looked like he was pretty much tinkering with a few things. I know we've seen Barami in the 10 for about 10 seconds before he took him off. I would like to see Barami in the 10. Jim Sloan, thank you very much. Very much appreciated, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Much appreciated. I would like to see Barami in the 10, but if that does mean that we play Jefty and Yilmaz on the left-hand side, then I'm fine with it. Because I mean, I'm not a massive fan of trying to shoehorn Jefty in the left wing or Yilmaz for that matter, but I'm wanting to see Barami in the 10, mate, so by hook or by crook I would still be trying to get him there. That's the kind of change I would make. I think Balogun's the only one that I think's probably in with a shout, but I would start Igmane up front. I've got absolutely zero doubt that I would. Be interested to see his lineup. I wouldn't be shocked if Tavernier comes back in and Kieran Dowell's in the 10, something ludicrous like that. That's just kind of the way that it's been happening with Rangers recently, but I'll also go for 2-0 Rangers, and I'll go for Igmane to continue his scoring streak that he's on just now, and I'll go with him to score first. But I'll win, and a bit of a better performance would just be Pucker Rangers. Please, can we just do that? Thanks very much.
100%. I'm going to say you boys. I think we're going to follow the trend of the season, the 2-0 against St Johnstone. I think we'll come away 2-0. For me, I'm going Butland. I know what you mean. I think Tab might come in. I'm going to say Sterling. I'm going to hopefully keep the audience on here and go with Sterling at right back. I'm going to go.
You almost fell at the final hurdle there, Ross, by putting Tab in your teammate. That would have bust your entire podcast.
Almost. See, I've learned getting there. I'm going to go with Suter at the back. I actually think Balogun might come back in. I think we've seen domestically Proper just. It doesn't feel like much confidence. I think Balogun could come back in. Again, Jefty at left back. I agree with what you were saying earlier on, Nicky. I think Diomande and Raskin in the midfield and Barami in the 10. I actually think playing Diomande slightly, not exactly the 10 role, but maybe Barron, give him a wee rest. Not for any doubts, any faults even, sorry. But I'd be going with Raskin, Barami and Diomande, which means front three. I'm going Cerny in the right. I'm actually going to bring in McCausland in the left. McCausland is not a left winger. I'll put that out there. He's a right winger, but the way that Clement wants to play, or he's played in the past, I think he'd put McCausland on the left over the right. So I'm going Cerny, McCausland and Igmane up top. It has to be after that performance last night. So, gents, that is bang on, reached the hour mark. That's been class. There you go. That's the first hosting of the time on Club at 22, and it has been much enjoyable. So I would first of all like to thank my guest, Scott. Thank you so much, mate, for that opportunity. That was cracking.
No, all respect and thanks goes to you, mate. You were absolutely spot on tonight, mate. Very much well done, mate. Very much well done. Put Ali Pearson to shame, mate. That's all I'll say. So you can take that any way that you like. But no, superb, mate. Yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting weekend, I think, in terms of what we're going to see from Rangers. As always, we are going into the unknown really right now because this season's continuing on. So no, but well done tonight, mate. Thank you, chat. Thank everybody in the chat and even the donations as well. Jim, Justin, as always, absolutely superb. And yeah, as you can see, mate, you're getting lots of love in the chat, mate. So very, very well done, young man. Very well done.
Thank you, and Nicky, thank you as always, mate. Let's just hope that we'll speak about some positivity on Sunday, but good to see you as always.
Yep, thanks for having us on, mate. I would echo the guys. Flawless performance. You were almost like an Igmane, a young boy pulled out of the trenches and thrown into a massive game, mate. And you were flawless. You've delivered. But no, thanks for having us, mate. And likewise, yeah. Hopefully, post-match Sunday is a positive affair for whoever of the guys is going to be on.
Yep, 100%. We'll be back as always on Sunday for a reaction, win, lose or draw as it is, and again hopefully bringing some positivity to you. So shameless plug as always, make sure to be liking the pod, subscribe to the channel as always. We've also got the Merry Members giveaway on if you check out the community channel, there's all the information there. Run a wee giveaway for the festive period. So again, thank you as always for everyone in the chat for this evening. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we will speak to you very shortly. Cheers everybody.